Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment he made?
I thought from varsity.
Run Ryan.
Ryan.
And the only thing, you have players out there.
I think the fellas are taking more serious.
No way. What grade?
That one of them.
Yes. Because at the end of the day, right now, Manchester United are
Welcome fellas, welcome to All In, All United. Fellas, is evenings like these where it is really test your resolve to come on here, and because Man United
Right now, I could go and watch TKR.
yeah boy, Man United taking everything out of here, everything out of here, and that's killing. It's hard to watch rival teams play when your team doing this kind of nonsense, We play Wednesday only, right? Spurs play Thursday. On top of that, Spurs get a red card in about the 7th minute, right? So they would have played 80 something minutes with 10 men and they win 3-0. Then they had to come and travel to Manchester, and yet them fellas show more energy, they show more intent, they show more everything than United, and we had an extra day recovery. All your performances like these indefensible. The players not playing for each other. I mean, you just watch the first goal. Rashford going after the ball, Garnacho sat there, Garnacho no awareness, no communication. Then Van der Ven take the ball, Rashford just jog off. And we allow our centre back earlier to progress the ball from the back straight into the box. What madness is this earlier? Through the game, Spurs winning all the first and second balls. And fellas, I don't even want to get into the bad passing. Fans don't deserve this, man. We do deserve this kind of nonsense. And going back to a comment I used to say back in when Ollie was going through, he decline is after that level of nonsense play. All of them boys going back and jumping the Bentley and the Ferrari and they're going in the mansion, and we'll be back next time. Tough luck, fans, and we here frustrated because we investing so much in these teams, so much emotional investment by financial investment for these fellas to go back in their mansion and tweet shit. I tell you, after today, I didn't want to see nothing earlier. I didn't want to talk nothing earlier. How we could come out at Old Trafford against Tottenham Hotspurs and look so crap. Nah, man. Unless something had happened, Something had happened, and I probably just as clueless as well because I don't know. What we saying?
I don't think I have much to say tonight, because what we could really say again for this performance, what we could say, this was just atrocious from the start to finish. The only positive thing you could say from today is Onana, because if it wasn't for him, we might have collected about 6 or 7 because he pulled off some saves. And for Timo Werner, if he wasn't so much trash too, because he had some one-on-ones where I was done saying, okay, look at next one. I don't have much to say, fellas. I don't have much to say. The only thing we had to look at is where do we go from here? What is
Further
next?
down. Good night, everybody. I really don't have much to say. I'm not in the mood. TKR put me in a better mood, so I want the podcast hopefully finish in about half an hour time so I can go back to watching cricket. Yeah,
I have a
them players, real talk, them players don't care. So why should I? Them fellas have no pride. Them don't have no nothing about themselves. The manager seems to be clueless to stop whatever is going on. For the Fire Ten Hag people, I still don't want to think about that today. How much in the last 12 years, how much managers we run through? What has been the improvement? Maybe our season it might get a little bit of improvement, but for the most part, we've been a trash club and a trash team. This season, we know we needed a left back. We know we needed a striker. We do all kind of dilly dally. We went and signed an inexperienced striker, and I'm gonna come here and talk about it every effing podcast because I said it in advance. We needed a proven striker. There's a reason you have a proven striker. Games are decided by margins. And when game's tight and you have a man who don't need 10 chances, if he get 3, he put it. But no, we want to go for the, you know what is Manchester's problem? We're looking for the cheap or the cheap way out of things. And fooling the fans to say, well, he's one for the future. Okay, but what about the now? We have we went into the season knowing we don't have a proper fit left back. And this going on since last season when we had a man on loan, and instead of keeping him for the rest of the season, we sent him back. And we finished the season without a proper left back. We had to be putting all kind of men in the left back positions. We start the season again with no left back. We playing the right back at left back. And the right back, I can't even fall the man, because that is not your position. He's an out and out right back, right winger. Yes, he could do better in certain plays, but that we shouldn't even have to be in this situation. Why not why not give Amas a try at left back? Why not? Your insistent Dallo is getting caught out over and over and over. Dan,
But
we could say for the especially for the first goal, this big stupid centre back run straight through we team and square ball. But with Dallo was with the midfield was because listen, he went straight. It's not like if he went straight down at our keeper, he kept left. So that would mean he had to square back. So men have to be seeing the only play possible is for him to square the ball. And nobody was there, boy. We escort. It's the same thing happened during the thing. We just escort that man up, and them men have pride, boy. Done. You see, after today, I real good with Manchester, I might take in a little game here and there, but I don't because these men do not care. Men want to quarrel with me about Dan, you can't the Bruno should have got yellow. But dog, that's a red card. He's an idiot. Yes, you slip, but what your foot still doing hanging there is a clown. Take your red card and go and sit down. And hopefully now we might get a chance to see somebody else in the Bruno position because apparently the Bruno position is a position on our team now. It's not a number game, it's a Bruno position. I fed up, dog. I fed up. Me, I ain't come here to talk too much. Let somebody else talk, Dan.
I mean, Chef, you said enough. I mean, all that. And it's funny because all that you said is only like a quarter or a fifth of our issues. I mean, and I like we, after this game, like Kareem said, like Chef said, like I had to take a step back. I was in my feelings. I was hurt. It's weird that a team like this could hurt you feeling so much. It's like wow. It's like I knew it, but to see us, you thought we were going forward. To see us come right back to this point, it really, it kind of dig really deep today. And I think for me, it's just like it's not. I mean, you see this, like when we see this, we think something different. It's like we grew up thinking something different. I know how bad this team was last. After last, it's Tuesday or Wednesday. We play Wednesday. I still know how bad this team was, but I still think this crest right here would help you win. For some reason, this crest right here will allow us to sing T levels we sing today. But no, I mean, after the game, you see, telling Kareem about this. You see, fans in the stands, leaving, and some just sitting down, just stunned, just shaking their head. And you
People
see,
cry. People sit down in the rain crying.
yeah, and one picture had a father and a son. This one right here,
Yeah.
and his father, you can see what it means to him. I was telling Kareem, I'm like, Kareem, is maybe we stop thinking like the father and start thinking like the son. The son has seen. The son is the future. He see what his team is. We had this idea of what United is and what was, and don't realize what it is. And because of that, we keep getting our feelings hurt. We not good. We ain't good. We might put a performance together here and there, but I mean, and I said last time, for one man to run through a whole team like that, and not one. I mean, it didn't happen like today. It happened last week. It happened last year. But it's not. You have wingers that really don't want to tackle, and they can't tackle. We're losing, they'll tackle to show they'll fight. But you go start a game off like that. Like Kareem said, I forgot that Spurs played with 10 men Thursday. I forgot that. But we play at home. How you can come out and play like that? And it's not to say one person was playing bad. Everybody was playing bad. Martinez couldn't play a pass. The lid had a tough time passing the ball. Man was getting caught on the ball. And it's like these things happen. We think we're going somewhere and then we play a team and realize, no, we reach nowhere. We ain't reach nowhere. And Spurs played very well. I mean, Spurs, they play like a real team, like a real proper coach team. And every question we had for them, they had an answer. And we had no answer to what they were doing. Ten Hag, how come when we counter attack, you're seeing like 2-3 men like ready there. When we count, when I'm sorry, when we counter attack, they always have somebody there. But when they counter attack, we know what to be seen. You talk about Dallo. You wonder what Dallo was. When we counter attack, you know who right besides Rashford and Garnacho, and the same level, Dallo. I don't know who tell Dallo, who keep telling these wingers to be right next to the attackers. But what happens when you play attackers who don't take any ball? And we've been saying this. Garnacho and Rashford are not the best of taking any ball. Lo and behold, we're attacking. Dallo running up. I mean, it's no excuse. You should have gotten back. But if your whole system if your whole defense is compromised because of your attacking system, to the point where you lose the ball and it's just madness going back, we get you Ugarte, and we have to look at our CDMs that we've had. We burned through how many CDMs? Thinking, okay, well, they're bad. But look, you got it today. No hope, because if men run at you all game, and it's like it's no resistance, it's just you there, because Bruno ain't tackling nobody. Poor Menu, like I keep saying, I love Menu. We can't put Menu to be in a structure like that, to have to run down men bigger than him, faster than him. You can't
That's
do
not
that
his
to
fault.
Menu.
Yeah.
And the angle first was taken. Like it was like right. We are, I mean, they didn't even need angles. We were nowhere to be seen in the midfield because our structure is so bad, and that's a Ten Hag thing, And we I don't want to go to Ten Hag, but Ten Hag doesn't like and Karim say it, but I want to believe it. Like he doesn't like he doesn't like the players that play the possession football. As much as I don't like Sancho, how he did with the club, you have a man like Sancho and Ahmad, men like that, who take any ball. They ain't do nothing special. You put Ahmad on the bench, you say rotation, whatever. You have Sancho, you send Sancho to Chelsea for small money. But then man, take care of the ball. That way you can bring the forwards up and that way you have too much risk when you try to get your offense good. Now we have none of that. We have Rashford and Canacho not knowing who supposed to grab that ball, and it's just madness. It's just man, and even that, like, how long have we have issues playing against the press? How long? We were to the whole team, almost a whole different team, and we still can't play the press. Men getting caught in the ball time and time again. We talked about Ericsson last game. If you watch Bruno this game, the second minute, Bruno turn around in right by penalty box, he want to make a turn and lose the ball. I say, oh gosh. But we're lucky, it didn't capitalize not that time. But we ain't learning.
Yeah.
The coach ain't learning.
Let me just get some. I hear you, listen, I hear you. I hear you. Let me just get some comments real quick there, because I know it has some people who want to, vent as well. Mylon on the inside, good night, man. Thanks for joining, buddy. Don't forget to like and share the podcast. And I'll realize it's just all in all United we're promoting tonight, right? None of that Man United shit. Right? Eric Lewis on the inside, good night, man. He say again, I miss church toward this nonsense. I learned my lesson, bro. I learned my
But
lesson. I ain't
you
missing
want
church
God
again.
strike you down, you wicked.
Chris on the inside, good night, man.
Right, man.
Kerry on the inside, good night to you, buddy. Saying Bob's your uncle, Pat is your aunt. At least you'll have history. Yeah, you come now, man. You go through. Alright, Javid on the inside, ain't to watch. I just felt I would be wasting my time today. I hate that I was right, boy. Kerry also saying your child abuse is carrying your child to watch a Man U game. Yeah, Arun, good night to you, man. Thanks for joining. Kid on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying I agree with Chef. We needed a proven striker. Once one season wonders getting contracts at the club. Clearly, Ugarte can't solve our problems. We will get to Ugarte now, because Jed, my goodness. Dembe, Elliot, Brent on the inside. Good night, man. Thanks for joining, buddy. He's saying I was going to miss church, I decided to go. Me too. I do miss. I do miss. I got asked for a little update from them boy and them. And when I reach home, I go catch it. I ain't missing church for Man United again. I feel all the fellas. I mean, we hurting, and the strange, unfortunate thing about it is that we're gonna be watching the next game, and we're gonna be watching the game after that.
Nope.
Understand? And
Nah, them need a rest, dog. Them need a rest.
And
I
I'm
get
feeling
it.
so too. I'm feeling so too. But I know I'm gonna run back come Thursday. I'm gonna run back. I'm telling you. I'm
I
gonna run back Thursday.
really hear all this South fellas and stay on good, sir. All your back, bro. Nah, my back ain't so broad, but Dan, it's just horrible,
But the thing about it, is the hope that is killing our boy. It's the hope. Because I'm being honest with all you, and all I know is not Ten Hag biggest fan, right? But at the start of the season, there were some positive signs. I was seeing things that was beginning to give me some belief. Right now, I ain't stupid. I ain't gonna jump in head first, and I was always very, very cautious. But at the same time, I was observing some positives, and I was saying, well, if we could build on this, and the more time, he have with these guys, chances are, we could see some improvement, and the improvement could continue and build, and we go see the kind of consistency that we want. But every proper team we meet this season, we catch we behind.
And it will continue so.
We catch me behind, and earlier, for the life of me, I don't understand why it is. What is it about our team that today we look like a fat match team earlier? It look as though we just, when you're with a dice, you just take a dice in your hand and you just throw out 11 players on the field. They never meet each other before, and I still feel if you do that with quality players, they're gonna look better. Them fellas out there look as though they didn't know who each other was.
Like they don't train.
Yeah, they never
Like they don't
played
train.
football before. They never trained together before. The amount of misplaced passes, poor decisions, fundamental football thing. You just learn put your body between the ball. These players not doing that. What going on? Earlier, I sitting around watching the game and I asked myself, I saying, what is this?
Yeah.
How this is Manchester United? How? Here, I telling you, them fellas are getting paid, boy. Them not getting paid. I don't care,
Manager
boy.
included. The manager included.
He too. Eric Ten Hag getting paid. None of them coaches getting paid. None of them players getting paid, Dread. Something had happened. I don't understand how they could go out at Old Trafford and have Spurs coming at all here. Or they can't even build out from the back. We casting two proper passes in a tight space. I watch how every time we get the ball, and that's how predictable we were. There were 2 and 3 players closing in every time, every player in possession. Fellas, or do you think Ten Hag could fix this?
I don't
I
think
mean, shit. Or do you think he could fix this? Where are they at, right? JP, we had trust the process because we seen improvement, or it's been 3 years, he had enough time to go. Where you at?
Yeah, my thing, right? I want to trust the process, but what is the process? Because this is Ten Hag third year. The majority of the players on the field were Ten Hag players. When Casemiro now come, we were rating up how Casemiro was playing, and the problem that started to happen slowly over time was Casemiro was becoming isolated in the field. I know what happened today. We bring Ugarte, and this is why I wasn't excited. Not that Ugarte is a bad player, but we bring Ugarte, and people were starting to talk like right that he's savior for the problems in the field. But what happening? Ugarte getting the same problems that the midfield has been facing under Ten Hag, where he is being isolated. Today, what happened with Dalo? Dalo couldn't tuck in the midfield to assist because he had to face Brennan Johnson and Kulusevski on that side there. So he couldn't come in the midfield to add numbers for us to try and control the game. And Ten Hag's supposed to know this, right? He's the manager. He had to prepare the team for the game that we going to play and for the opposition that we play. So if you know you have Kulusevski and Johnson on one side, obviously Dalo cannot tuck in and play in that midfield, right? So what is your plan? You had to have more bodies in the midfield. You had to play a different system for this game to allow the midfield to have more numbers in it, to negate the threat from Tottenham, getting through our mid as teams have been getting through our mid for Ten Hag's majority of his reign. But he didn't do that. When the first goal scored, I was saying, drop Bruno back. Drop Bruno back for 10 to 15 minutes, add some more bodies in the midfield, try and get control of the game. When I look at the field, Bruno right next to Zirkzee. That not making sense because we only have Ugarte there when we go in forward. And then one pass, they cutting through. So Ten Hag had to shoulder this because what I saw today was what we saw all of last season. And last season, if we did not win the FA Cup, we would have nothing to talk about because it was a horrible season. And right now we're 12th. If Bournemouth win their game tomorrow, we drop in, they go above us. And Bournemouth not playing bad football. So it's possible that tomorrow we drop in lower in the table. 6 games in. And if you look at the teams that we get results from, Fulham we had to get later. Barnsley is Barnsley. So now people can actually say it's just Barnsley we beat. Now people can actually say it's just Southampton we beat. Because you know what? When we play proper teams, we ain't do nothing. Brighton beat us, Liverpool beat us, Tottenham beat us. We draw against 20, we draw against Crystal Palace. So that's saying we at the level of Crystal Palace, we at the level of 20. And we expected to beat teams like Southampton, and Barnsley. But when we face anything better, we expected to get licks. And that's what happened. And the organization of the team, the mentality of the team, how the team drives and goes forward is on the manager. So I'm not going to say Ten Hag out right now, but Ten Hag, the ice, real thin. It had to be thin because you're not going to get rid of players, especially when it's players that were brought in for him. If you look at the team today, the majority is Ten Hag players, whether by promoting from the youth system or players that were bought is Ten Hag players. So what is this man's excuse now? The only man who probably might have started a game if he was fit is Shaw. Other than that, everybody else in the team is his players. So where we going? This is my question. Where we going from here? If we give Ten Hag more time, but he not going to change, and he going to be stubborn because he's stubborn. It's clear that he is stubborn because it wasn't working last season where you come back and you're doing the same thing. Where the press go on? Where the press go on? I was looking at games earlier in the season where we had a press of like the front five was doing a press. And teams had to try and play through that. And because they couldn't play through those going long ball and we were winning back the ball. Where are going? How we abandon that? Every time in preseason we see something that look good from this team, early on in the season it has been abandoned. So what happens to that style of play? What happened to that system? Is it that was the coaching staff was trying something different and Ten Hag come and put on the foot now and say, no, we're going back to this? That's the kind of questions I'd ask because we see the same thing.
The last
I mean,
podcast. Go ahead, Simeon. No, go ahead, Simeon. Go ahead.
no, I mean, I was, for some reason, I went back. I wanted to make sure when I speak, correctly. I rewatched the first like 20 minutes of the game, and look, I mean, the mistakes they made it hard to recognize any type of pattern of play, but it was there. It just, for one, Tottenham was ready for that. They were coached. They knew what to expect, and they were doing this almost the same thing that we were doing, except they do it better. Like the game planned it better. They planned for what we did better. I mean, but it's the same idea. You play, try and play a high line, you press, but you play out from the back. When they play out from the back, they have you see how composed they are on the ball. Everybody where it's supposed to be. We pressed. It wasn't consistent as it should be, but it was there. When fellas get, you know, um, dejected that they start, not pressing as hard, but you saw the press come in here and there. It just wasn't as good. Mount was the man on the team that really helped the press when it was going full throttle in preseason and in the first two games. Mount was the man who really helped it, and he wasn't playing because he doesn't really play. But it's all these things are there. But the thing is today, you know, you try to have, he tried to mix up his counter attack team with his possession team, and we had Xerxes in there, and he had Rashford and Garnacho on his sides, and nobody could hold on to the ball. And that's not Eric Ten Hag's fault. Besides not playing Ahmad, but it's not his fault that men couldn't pass the ball properly and make, what he could have done, like, JP said, was he should have adjusted, a lot sooner, like, in 28th, he should have done something because this has been an issue with, I've had with him for a while. It's like he would see his team being overrun and do nothing, and Bruno himself should have at least, fell back because we weren't getting any traction going forward or anything. But like, you see what he's trying to do, and you see, but the players he have, the players we have, we look at Tottenham, Van de Ven, he was bought for a reason, and you see that reason today. You see Rashford and Garnacho trying to do some of that ball. Van de Ven say, okay, the ball right there. I fast. I'm just going to take the ball from you I run past everybody. Like everybody on Tottenham have a purpose. Chef talking about striker. Tottenham need a striker, right? What they do? They buy a
One of the
striker, right? A good Premiership striker. And what he do? He's scoring goals, right?
proven Premiership striker.
Yeah.
He would have been fit as
Tottenham
well.
needed
When he
a
was coming
second
in, he would
midfielder.
have been fit.
What they get?
He would have been fit.
They get Madison. Like everything on Tottenham they get is it might be the flashiest, but they serve the purpose, And you look at these fellas, and it's just like, and you look at our team, how much our team costs, and you're like, what, what, what are you supposed to be doing? Like, what are you supposed to be good at, and why aren't you good? Like
Semen is
Chef
good
said, I
for
mean,
what
I,
we
I
have.
kind of, when he said that we need a striker, I agreed, but it's so important right now. It glaringly, I mean, a glaring, mistake right now. Not have that proven striker because Xerxes, I think he'd be great, but right now he's looking awful. Today was awful. He had to finish them chances. He can't,
Have to,
But
like,
it's not even. It's not
have to.
even. It's not even the chances. Is he or wrong play? It's
yeah.
if you don't get him close to the box and you don't have players closer to him, he'll just look like trash. But JP, he was making a point just now, and I being honest with you, I beginning to think it's the team more than the individuals. Because if you put Xerxes in our Spurs team, we gonna be saying we should have signed Xerxes.
Exactly. Exactly. If you look at the players that we have, the players is not shit. It had to be the system or something at Old Trafford that players come in and players looking like shit. Because after all the good games Maswari had, today Maswari looked bad enough. But I put that on the system because he was getting overrun. Is Udogi
He was getting
and
overrun.
had to play.
He was
He
getting
had to play
overrun.
them two men. And when you look at top teams, and this is why I come back to the manager. When you look at top teams, look at Liverpool, City, Arsenal without the ball. The defenders are units. Everybody just go back when it's time to defend. Menudo David Silva, Bernardo Silva is a man that's be in the midfield, making up numbers and helping them defend. What has happened with our players? Rashford and Garnacho make a mistake for the first goal. The both of them walking back. Like, all right, like for them men to handle. That is the mentality in the team. And who is in charge of creating this where we defend as a unit? We lose the ball, everybody get back. We are to win it back. And then we go forward. But no, and that's why Mendes be getting caught out of position easy so. And that's why Dalo could stop track his man and then put up your hand when he goes score. What waving up your hand for? You stop run with him, man. You stop running.
Dan,
But you
I'm
put up
tell
your
you,
hand when he goes score.
as tonight in our football chat, I was talking about it. The team we have right now was actually one of the better teams we've had in a while. With the exception of maybe the striker left back position. But if you watch the individual players, this team is supposed to be doing better than that. I ain't saying they're supposed to be in the top four, but they're supposed to be doing better. That's one point. Next thing too, then you all remember when Arteta took over Arsenal, right? Arteta get rid of Ozil, Lacazette, Aubameyang one time. People was like, oh God, how we gonna do that? But he recognized that he want a certain type of players, a certain type of personality in and around his club. And at the end of the day, it is his club. Because if they look good, he get the plaudits. If they look bad, he get the talk. Manchester, and you know what, it was credit to Arsenal board for actually giving him that power and say, partner, you run your club how you want to run your club. When Ten Hag, Reem always talk about this, when Ten Hag first came to Manchester, Ten Hag did show that because he did it with Ronaldo, he was like, hey, all right, we meet a manager who don't have no favoritisms, who cut truth. But like the only one he was bad for was Cristiano Ronaldo. And right now, everything Cristiano Ronaldo say about this club looking like the God's honest truth right now, eh? So we can't even talk about it. We don't even go down that road right now. Dan, when I watch the way we playing, boy, you're asking yourself, as you said, the men just train, boy. The men just give up on the play. Men just, and we have a manager who, like, he don't know how to make in-game changes. We have senior players. We saying Ten Hag should have make change, but Bruno as the captain supposed to know to fully narrow, dog. You supposed to come a little deeper for the ball. It's such an injustice personally. Me, what I'm doing, Ahmad. If I was Ahmad, or you're offering me a new contract, I laughing at all you because all you're not serious. What you offering me a new contract to do? Sit down on that bench.
To play against small teams. But for me to
But
have proper game
you
come,
had to be
is
you had
gonna
to be
show.
wicked.
Yeah.
You had to and my last point. When you watch all the top teams, right? All teams have the mainstay players. And the mainstay players good are the mainstay because the consistent though. The consistent. When you watch City players, you know, Haaland, goal scorer. You know, you're getting what you gonna get from Grealish, what you gonna get from Kevin De Bruyne, what you gonna get from Bernardo Silva. Consistency though. It don't matter who on the field, it is consistent. You watch Arsenal that we ever thought we would have been talking about Arsenal having one of the sickest defense in the league. Arsenal, you know. Arsenal have a defense now that boy, when you score an Arsenal, you have to say thank God, you know, because it ain't easy at all, you know. Dan, I don't know what to say again. Ten Hag, to be honest, I have no faith in Ten Hag. None. But I say this again. You fire Ten Hag tomorrow. Who is the solution? Who you gonna bring in? You're gonna promote Van Nistelrooy? Van Nistelrooy who barely have any experience at all?
And not only that, chef, he there.
And he part of this shit right now.
Yeah, he there.
So you're going to promote it. Who you going to promote it to say, well, he was a big player for me to teeth up we head? Dog, we not taking no teeth up head from all your game, dog. All your shit done. All your unreal shit. So again, I say, you fire Ten Hag tomorrow. Done. It have things in that club need to change. I don't care who is the manager to bring tomorrow. It could be Zidane. It could be Pep himself. Come and coach this current team. Dan, there's too much wrong in this team for us to go forward. I am sorry. But and I don't care who agree with me, if we had the choice to get rid of players and get new players, I'm gonna tell you something. Rashford was gone. Bruno Fernandes was gone. Luke Shaw was gone. Who else I have on that? I was not signing Xerxes. I wasn't signing Anthony. Casemiro was gone. Dog, we afraid to make, hear what? Or they don't sign them on dotish contracts. Take the loss and let them go the way. Because this can't be it, dog. That I tell you all the big to big. After a while today, my stepson and his girl was home by us, and we had a hectic weekend. So I just say I wake up just to watch the game. When I start to see that shit, I take off the TV. And my stepson, he's a Barca man, and he said, wait, James, you can't take it no more. I said, no, dog, not today. That will spoil my whole mood. And I refuse to watch that shit, dog. I refuse to watch it. That is not, because when I watching them fans and them after say down it starts rain, bucket and drop, and men crying. Because you had to feel it for people like that. And I don't know, boy. Like them thing, Don't bother these players. It don't bother the
No
board.
boy,
It don't bother
sickling boy.
it don't bother Ten Hag. Ten Hag coming in a press conference and talking about a shit every press conference.
Baga
So
tell us something, eh? I was watching the camera pan on the board. Well, Barada and Wilcox and them fellas, it behind them. It behind
we
them
got
because
to bother them.
them fellas and them in the stands, them fellas watching every game, and I know that them fellas waiting to make a move.
And Nicole, you say, Nicole, you say something had to happen.
Yeah, something had happened. Something
I
had happened.
I said Ten Hag had till the next international break to say something. We getting fired. He might even last it that long, you know. Though. Let me tell you something, eh? And Manchester fans mightn't like it. The worst thing that happened to us was Ten Hag winning the FA Cup. Full stop.
Let me just get some comments real quick there, right? Phil on the inside, right? Although know Phil in Japan right now, right?
Eh,
So
eh.
he's saying, yeah. So you say what he'll watch until his taxi come to the airport, right? Um, Eric saying here, yeah, it's still early, but right now Fred and Amrabat looking better than Ugarte, right? And we had to play them just now, huh? Right? You know Mourinho gonna licky chops and make that game as frustrating as possible for we. Um, Phil saying here Ten Hag gone after Villa match, bro. Right?
I'm telling you, he lost another.
Ethan Lynch on the inside. Good night to you. Thanks for joining, man. He's saying here I've come to share in the painful post-mortem. He also saying it's how there's no fear factor when teams come to Old Trafford. No, it's heartbreaking. Yeah, definitely. The players we have on paper aren't bad, but on the pitch is a different story. Yeah, and somebody said that comes down to the system. That comes down to the system. If you play these players in any other team with a proper structure, they will look different, right? Fred scoring goals for Fenerbahce. All your Fred looking proper.
But you see
God,
McTominay for Napoli?
I want to hear what he.
No, but McTominay, and here the thing, you know he playing midfield, right?
Yeah.
He playing midfield. He not playing up like if he's a number 10, eh? I just shake my head and say, boy, Manchester is really blighted.
Blight, yeah. Lynch is saying here, we have stush attackers or guys that stroll back and they scored the man into our half with police sirens and all. Yeah, man. God boy. Dion on the inside, thanks for joining. Good night to you.
Good night, yeah.
Alright. She's saying all I have to say is it's hard being a United fan at the moment. Yeah.
Hard being a United fan over 10 years now.
Yeah. Eric saying here. Where's the score?
I'm trying to stay waiting for him to play it up. I think it's about 4 wickets down now.
All right. We go wrap up in about 5 minutes.
Lewis saying, Eric saying here, Omar Barada said 21 is coming in 2028, looking more like 2028. Philip
Like
Bidwell on the inside, he's saying, big up you guys, Ten Hag in. I've been having a good laugh at your United expense. I think they did Liverpool fella or the Arsenal fella, I can't remember. Alright. Eric saying here, even one looking better. Yeah. I don't know.
He's Mervdy. Oh God, he's Merv. I didn't watch West Ham this weekend, but last week, he was real shit. So I don't know about all of that.
I mean, but the thing is, I watch a lot of football, these last few weekends. Just trying to see how other teams look, and it's like these I mean, even Ipswich looking these, it's like these teams playing decent football.
Yep.
They're scoring goals, they're defending decently. These teams are playing proper football, and like we 12th right now. We might stay, between the 8th and 12th place, for a while, unless we play a lot better. Because right now the teams in the league are really good. And you look at teams like Liverpool, look at Chelsea. We even on nowhere close.
Nope.
Chelsea started, we laugh at them because they were buying every player. But, they
They
had
beating people.
they had a,
And they beating
they
people proper.
wanted the best, they spend what they spend. And
But Simon, let me ask you something, right? I mean, JP and Chef as well, do all in the comments, right? And don't forget to like the pod, let me get some more likes and shares, right? But we sit in, well, 12th, you say?
yeah,
Right? We sit in 12th in the table um, after 7 games. And I remember last year was Chelsea, but I think 2 seasons before was Liverpool. So Chelsea was wallowing around between 8th to 12th last season, and then they come and finish strong, right? And then I think it was 2 seasons before, 2 or 3, because that's when Ole was manager. Liverpool was struggling, and they come and they finish third or fourth, right? So my question is, and the thing about it, Liverpool and Chelsea, in the two respective scenarios that I'm talking about, that I'm referencing here, the football wasn't proper. They were struggling to get results. They were conceding very easy soft goals. But then they kept some momentum and at the back end of the season, and the real push. They went on a run, and they finished strong in European sports. Chelsea last season and Liverpool about 2 or 3 seasons ago. Now the thing about it, fellas, and this just for to challenge your thoughts a little bit, right? We only 7 games in, right? You think it really the panic and the state that we in terms of get rid of Ten Hag. You think we over egging it, and you think because we did see some encouraging stuff, and this is one of the reasons why I asked before if you all think Ten Hag could fix this, because it's still early days. Yes, we as fans want to see better. We want to but then again, Chef make a very very good point. You move Ten Hag out, you bring in Rude, and you might get a new manager bunks for how much games? 2, 3? And then after that, or let me just say, you don't bring in Rude, you bring in Southgate or Thomas Tuchel, you know? It's what them gonna do? So my question is, 7 games in, are you think we panicking?
no, I mean, we ain't, we can't say we're seven. I mean, we're 7 game area this season, but like we've we've been on this roller coaster before, and we keep coming back to the same spot. It's not like if we see improvement, we keep come back to the same spot, the same performances, the same embarrassments. It's one thing. We talk about Chelsea. Chelsea fire how many managers they went through before they get the right one. But these teams, these guys that they have, the Klopps, what's the guys that Maresca, who put a whole team he don't want to see until he ready for them. I mean, these guys have these players accountable for their performances. Like, where's the accountability in our team? You go put Sancho out the team for training, but yet man can play shit for game like 4 or 5 games straight and nothing. We have these preferences that kill and the thing is, I think Neville said it the other day, and he said a lot of us missed it. He said Ericsson said after the FC20 games that we ain't play hungry, then for us ain't playing like they wanted as much as FC20. And we didn't, I mean, we really think they people say it all the time, but like, you would think the next game out at home, you come out playing hard. Then for us didn't come out playing hard. You look at Rashford, like, he might playing bad, but he might playing hungry. He don't have that, we say he got that dog. He might have that dog in him. Van der Ven run through our whole side because he wanted it. Yeah, he fast, but he wanted to.
You
Really?
He was
telling me
not.
Marcus Rashford can't run you down?
He was. He was.
Nah.
Nah, he might fast, but like he wanted
But
to. If there was Rashford and a man just touch him, he'd fall down.
He fall long.
Them
But
men,
Simeon,
them men
yes,
want
what
it.
he's saying is, we know the man fast, okay. But dog, you're getting paid. You have to run him. You have to run him down, dog. Even if you can't catch him, you have to feel you coming, dog. The men even make an attempt, you know.
I know. That's what I
Men
said.
attempt, dog. Men literally see the man take off and do so.
Chef, I watched. I hate to say it. Liverpool, Diaz, Liverpool. I watch him play, and I just shake my head because I'm like, man, I wish we had somebody on our team that play with that kind of
He's
fight.
one of my He's one of my favorite players in the league, and that is a Liverpool player. But I rate boy because he work ethic is something else. We don't have nobody. Somebody asked me this today, Chef. Any one of our players could make a Arsenal, Liverpool, City team? No, not one position.
No, like we have no fight in this team. Like you hardly see any player. I mean, Martinez. They come to this team and they fight. They just go, man. Like I don't know if they get fed up or what, but like game by game, you just lose whatever you come with.
Yeah.
We were talking about Mashwari last week. I said don't jinx him, man. I said don't jinx him, man. And Carl, it is like we just. And I think it had to be something. It has to be something, in the dressing room.
Yeah.
It has to be at a club. And my thing with Ten Hag is
I don't even blame him for today because you
Done.
cannot expect one man to defend Udogi and Timo Werner. That is
Listen.
madness. If Garnacho not helping the man, he must look
At
bad.
all.
So I don't even think I would say Mazwari had a bad game. We make him have a bad game by putting Garnacho in front of him who wasn't doing nothing to help him out.
You know what
So,
Manchester fans had to be? Manchester fans had to be thankful. It's shitty Timo Werner was there and not Son.
Exactly.
Because if it was Son, be like about 10.
Yeah.
But my issue is Ten Hag is a coach. Like you can't come every game and baby these fellas. I know they're young. You can't baby them. You can't baby them fellas. Rashford, if you can. Rashford played some good plays. Get some good plays. You come back, but you can't play. You can't have a good play here. You can't defend. You can't wait till you're down 2-0 or 3-0 to start defending and tackling. You gotta start the game off like that. And it's like we'll wait till we get out. With 10 men to start playing. I don't. My question with Ten Hag is: can you motivate? Well, one, can you coach a system to where you could, give your team a good foundation to play with, but also can you motivate these fellas to play at their maximum ability? I don't see that. I don't see him. I just don't see it. I don't see the emotion. I don't see him on his side, hands in pocket, just screwing up his face. I have no answers, but I know that ain't it.
My thing is this, I I mean I kind of 50-50 on a coach being animated on the side. I 50-50 on that because these are adults we're talking about here. We was on the pitch, the training pitch, and then we was in the dressing room. I get your instructions. I don't know what we're supposed to do. You understand? So I 50-50 on that whether Ten Hag had in his pocket or he barking orders like Conte. it doesn't matter to me. Them fellas and them supposed to know where the job is, right? Now, I want to ask a question, right? Now, we're talking about Bruno for quite some time, and today Bruno poor form continue. Even before Bruno gets sent off, Bruno was looking bad, right? I mean, it's probably a compliment to him that he wasn't the worst, right? Because Dalo was frustrating me. You know, Garnacho touch heavy. The point on the fact that he wasn't helping Mazwari as he should. And then on top of that too, you know, tactically you had this guy, what's his name? Ugarte, shuffling from side to side, up to down, trying to close down spaces, and all Spurs was doing is 1-2s around him and beating him. You know, so we looked so open. It was so easy for Spurs to play through. Spurs was going through a rough period for them. They were desperate for a result as well, and we made it so easy for them to come and play football at Old Trafford. You know, they looked like they were on top of the table in terms of how their football was being played. You know? Anyway, I want to digress to this Bruno thing. Now, personally for me, that red card looked harsh. Right? But I see it as a blessing in disguise because I really needed Bruno to this team. Right? And I hope it's 3 games. Forgive me. I hope it's 3 games. Because now there's one less player that the manager probably had to, you know, don't worry about upsetting. Because Bruno look like one when he don't play, he's a annoying, he's like a mosquito. Right? So that is one less player for the manager to worry about having to please. And he could look at the squad now. I mean, I don't know to the extent with Kobe, I don't know. And then I know Mason Mount's concussion as a concussion solo. So like Mason Mount, he had injuries married. I know. Right? But now I want to see Ten Hag, you know, use something different. And as Chef say it, don't just try to put somebody and ask them to do what Bruno was doing. Because we don't want that. We want something different. Show us how, you know, flexible with you are tactically, where you can give up, where you can use the players that you have to give us something different. You know, whether you want to play a 4-4-2 now and use Xerxes and Hoyland, you know, and do something different to try to, you know, bring some belief back in the team rather than keep insisting on exposing your DM, you know, keep insisting on wide play when these fellas have little confidence and stuff like that. And then you have Xerxes who drop in deep, you know, but he only one touching. You know what I'm saying? Let me see something different. So anyway, question is, where's all the guys' thoughts on, you know, the Bruno card and the fact that we may not have him for a couple of games? JP?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think all of us will say Bruno should be starting this game because if the manager talking rotation for players, for performances, first of all, should be a reason to rotate it, and Bruno has been poor. Anyhow, he started the game poorly again as well, might I add. The thing is, Bruno gave the referee a decision to, as harsh as it may seem, he gave the referee a decision to because he missed the tackle, he slipped, but then he still stick out to there and the leg goes high, but he start showing. So even though he may not have made like proper contact with the player, I think it's because of the fact that when you look at the replay, you see that he went for the man. I think that is what gets him the red card. And if it was a yellow and VAR check it, they would have keep it at a yellow. They would not upgrade it to a red. But I think because he gave the referee that decision, VAR was never going to overturn it.
Yeah. I just got some comments real quick, right? Isn't saying here now one positioning still horrible. He gone too far. Phil saying here, my last comment before I go, Bruno missing for 3 games is a blessing in disguise. Yeah. Mylon saying, I hope it's 3 games too. Yes, that red go force Ten Hag to finally give other players a chance. Yeah, and Eric saying here 3-1-6 will sadly be the end of Ten Hag. All right, Hammond World on the inside. Good night. Thanks for joining, buddy. Go through Simeon.
I mean, red card. I mean, it's harsh, but I think the issue, it's the height of the boot, and the intent. I don't think it's a red card, but at that point, Spurs were counterattacking, and when they counterattacked, all our players were behind the ball. So with a few tackles before that were coming in from the side or behind to where we were trying to stop attack. So the referee already had that, in mind. Bruno split early. I don't think the referee really saw the how hard the foul was, but I don't think it was a red card. It just looked terrible. So he got red. I mean, I think, remember, like, we gave up, that goal in the third minute. It was 3 guys behind Van de Ven, and none of them brought him down. So at that point, the fellas was thinking, okay, well, we can't have fellas running past again. I think with Bruno trying to get him down, kind of mistimed it, and then he couldn't really control how it ended up looking at the end result, and that's why the referee told he to give him a red. But I don't think it was a red card based on just the how hard the blow actually was. But as far as Bruno is concerned, yeah, I mean, Bruno has to. We need somebody else in that position. We should have had somebody else playing at some point in that position. Bruno should have been benched. We should have tried out at least 2 players by now in that position. Should have either been Mount or Ericsson. Instead of taking Ericsson out, or somebody else should have been there. Besides Bruno already for the season. Um, we look at that game where we won. Was it against Barnsley? Like, did Bruno play, right? Bruno came on late. Why?
Yeah.
Anyway, we could have somebody else in there, playing that spot. Like, just stuff like that. As to why, as I say that, Bruno would never, even though he got 3 games, he'd be right back in the squad after them 3 games. But, like, it'd be nice to see somebody else. Right now, the only choice is Ericsson, but I want the coach to think about, expanding do something else. Try a different formation. We have enough players. We have enough midfielders to do something else. We have that excuse like we did last year where we were all injured. We have enough people to play a different system. If it's more fit midfielders, or maybe it's not as many wingers, but we could play a different system besides what we have. So we go see what he do, but he has options. Ain't no excuses to why we can't have something that works. And this, and let's talk to Kareem about this. Like, what are we trying to do? When we look good, we were passing the ball. We had combination play. We were possessing the ball, moving the ball around. We didn't score as much, but we had controlled. We actually saw, a system in place of possession and moving the ball around, getting crosses, getting cutbacks in. We saw that. Why can't we just try that with somebody else at the 10 spot? If we play that way, we don't need Bruno. Bottom line. If you want to play the home run ball, then that's where you need Bruno. So that's why, I argue with Kareem all the time. He say, Ten Hag wants to play, a certain way. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, the players that he That he, the Bruno, the Garnachos, the Rashfords, they're not the best for the system that looks the best, looks good. It's like it's the Amads, it's like which system does Ten Hag really want to play? Because one system is working and one system is not.
Yeah, yeah. Kerwin on the inside, thanks for joining. You saying Ten Hag in hot water, and that wasn't a red card. His studs didn't touch the man. I'm just, chef. We're talking about changing your system. Doing this and doing that. But what's benefit, right? Do you think Ten Hag is seeing in sticking to his guns? Sometimes, when they come out on topic, I say he stick to his guns and things, but do you see any benefit from Ten Hag sticking to this? He believe in this. He going to stick it. The players go get it right, and uh, rather than caving because of pressure and changing. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, man. Now, listen,
yeah.
Ten Hag alone know what done because nothing he doing working. Horse, you telling me you so stubborn, boy. Obviously, what you're doing not working. So you telling me you so stubborn. You are willing to try something else, boy. Then Ten Hag, and this is the point where, in one hand, we could say that you can't just be firing managers. But Ten Hag ain't doing nothing to help your case, at all. If anything, he making it worse. So I don't know, man. I tell you, I absolutely clueless when it comes to this team right now. What they're trying to do or from not doing because
JP, where's your thoughts on that? Ten Hag sticking, thinking that it comment to come, it go come rather than cave into the pressure and changing what he see.
We had a whole season of that last season, and it didn't work. So, what I say the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And to me, that is what Manchester United setup is. We play in the same system, expecting different results. What's the purpose of Van Nistelrooy and what is the other one name, Rene Hacker? What's their purpose? Because to me, when you have assistants are the people who will really help you with the style of play and have different roles in the teams. Like Van Nistelrooy might be there for finishing, but I don't think Van Nistelrooy just there to work with the strikers because he was actually a manager. I mean, he left a top job to come and be Ten Hag's assistant. So I think it's time we start. And to me, this is only the board could make this happen is to see more influence from the assistants because what Ten Hag has been doing has not been working. So he can't stick to his guns, and if his guns is a mentality something or the discipline part of it, fine. But the system that he is playing, he can stick to that. That's how to change. It have to change.
Yeah, yeah, I think that make plenty sense. That make plenty sense. Um, Cohen saying here, sacking him don't make any sense right now. Most of them players is his players, so you want to give him time, right, Cohen?
Ineos buy players star system, eh? Because remember, Ineos not about this is the manager, and we buying the players for the manager. So this window, the players that we get, it may be players, yes, some of them play under Ten Hag. But if you listen to what you say about Dillit, it's not he tell them he want Dillit or not. Ineos is them who say they're going after Dillit. It's just it happened that it's a player that suited the Ten Hag, so they're going for a style. So even if it's players who he may have wanted, this is the players that they want for the team as well. So it's not just about the manager.
Yeah, yeah. Fellas,
I want to ask, right? And this is what I've been asking all day, and people can already tell me, okay, you're saying, and I'm not saying I'm for or against, I'm just asking. If we saying sacking him is not don't make sense right now, then what makes sense? Keeping him and we continue to lose? Or we hoping it get better?
Listen,
I want somebody tell me because I don't know.
is the board had to give him an ultimatum to do better or you go because what's the point? He is the man in charge of the team, and this one is not people that like to see it as an agenda as you ten hang out to it this way that. Reality is reality. This is what football is. Football is a results game, and the person who in charge of getting the results is the manager. Every manager not setting up his team to get the results. Any manager to go. So you just had to let him know, hey, so there either you change something with what's going on here, you set up how you encouraging the players, what they're doing in training. And if we're not seeing it, it translates into the player play and with points on the table and position on the table, you're the right out. And like what
Yep.
footballers, we too emotionally attached to managers and players as Manchester United.
Only at Manchester United.
Right? We had to
Only at
get
Manchester
over that
United.
shit. We had to get over that. Look, Chelsea was chopping and changing managers, but they had trophies to show for it when they were doing it. The Matteo win is who win the Champions League for them? Is the
the,
Matteo?
yeah,
And,
the
and then he
material.
get fired. And then he get fired soon after. And then they went
Season
on and
after.
they still win things after that. Yes, Chelsea may not be the benchmark that I want to compare a club to. But the point is in football, it's a results game. It's about winning things. And
Simple.
if we're not looking any closer to competing for the Premier League, which we haven't won in how many years, then the manager is responsible for that.
I I agree. I agree. Right? But I could be honest with you. I mean, I still conflicted, you know. And on one side, I think Ten Hag had enough time. But on the other hand, right, I still looking. It's 7 games in, and I had made a reference to the Chelsea scenario and the Liverpool scenario and how strongly they finished, right? And the only reason why I'm sitting here, and I'm leaning more toward, you know, um, sticking with Ten Hag right now is because I've seen some improvement, right? And the how to play it, boy? The issue, the like for instance the Crystal Palace game, we do everything right, but be clinical, right? The 20 game, we were playing well. You could argue that 20 wanted it a little more, but we created enough chances to win that game. The Brighton game, margins. If the ball didn't hit Xerxes' foot, that could have been a different game. And then we'd have been talking different today. You understand? And sometimes they don't know how those wins will impact the players confidence wise, going into other games with more belief, with more drive, and that kind of thing. So it's really fine margins. And I've seen some little things, you know, contrary to last season where I'm sitting on a saying, well, yeah, boy, I'm seeing the improvement. I'm seeing it. So probably let me game a little more and a little more, you know. Today didn't do any favors. Today did not do any favors, right? And I agree that in game probably Tana could make some adjustments and do better. But when your players, professional players, can string 2 passes together, you understand, and making bad passes on the pitch, players blowing past them and they jogging back. I'm taking it hard. I know the manager ultimately responsible, but I'm taking it hard to say, well, hey, he had to get neck boss because of this, right? The communication in the field today was so poor. Players making decisions that killing the team. I saw we could have it on display. We could have switched the football. Rashford tried to force it over for Garnacho. Then Bruno come and do the same thing after. And I asked myself, these fellas, are they thinking by? And this is why, to some degree, I want to say I've seen enough improvement to tell that okay, probably Saint Ten Hag out after 7 games might be a stretch, might be a little bit on the extreme side. But at the same time, I hear the argument that this is not 7 games. This is over 100 games. How many games Ten Hag in charge now? It's 3 seasons now, and we still are seeing nothing. To really say, well, the process is seeing the levels of improvement. So, guys, I don't know. Let me just get these 3 comments and let me wrap it. Phil saying here, but Cohen, right? It's 3 years into the project, and we're still hoping that he get it right sooner rather than later. 3 seasons in, right? So Phil and Cohen, right? Yes, Ten Hag is stubborn by continuing to play Bruno and Rashford, making it hard for fans to have faith in him. All right. Phil saying here, if I had 3 years into a relationship with my red woman, I'm still gonna hope that she got food ready when I come home from work. I would be the most miserable man on my way home.
I tell all you, ream from South, Them South men build different,
Because say yeah, today we played horrible, only giving Tottenham the ball right through. Yeah. So I mean, guys, I do doubt that Villa and Porto are going to be 2 very very critical games, and I trust that this board that has been put together with Barada and Ashworth and Wilcox and who again who's the next guy name, the baller one.
Yeah.
Brailsford, right? Because they're always there, trusting that they will make the right decision for the club. Because I really don't want to see our next manager come in. We get a new manager once we feel it's all that, and then it's back to shit street. But I'm not saying that so we don't fire the manager if he deserves to get his sack. It's just a catch-22 now, but between a rock and a hard place. I've been here before. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I think that brings us to the end of the pod this evening. Definitely not one that we want to remember. Definitely it was disappointing. It making it hard to want to watch Man United play football earlier. Real hard. Just so much so that it making me dislike players in this team. And I didn't want to go there. Right? It making me hate the uniform and all earlier. That red sickening me right now. Right? But I be home kit and we will be playing that in that colour for plenty. So whatever, right? Anyway, so guys, Thursday it is again. We next 2 games is away. We playing Porto away, then we coming back to go Villa. And them teams running earlier. Them teams running. Let me see how it goes. And I know knowing that Bruno ain't gonna be around for the Premiership games, I know he's gonna play 600 minutes in Europe. Yep. Right? So more of Bruno unless he get a red card come Tuesday. So guys, Simeon, JP, Chef, it was nice fellas. Those in the comments. We do thank you on this tough day. For all the comments, all the interaction, all the likes, all the shares. It has be a process, but we here, we committed to this. So have a good one, guys. See you on the next one.